Hi everyone, my name is Emily. I ended up in contact with Ryan right before this video was about to come out, and he offered to share my recent experience where I purchased a rope that came in legitimate black diamond packaging from a legitimate dealer, and it ended up being counterfeit. So in February, I needed to replace my gym rope. So I went online and I ordered a black diamond rope from Dick's Sporting Goods. I have bought many ropes before and I had never seen Dick's Sporting Goods carry a rope, but hey, they had the best price. It was about 90 bucks. And most importantly, Dick's is currently an authorized black diamond dealer. So my rope arrives as expected, tightly packaged in what appeared to be a factory coil. I've tried to recreate how it looked, and it looked pretty normal at first. The packaging has even got like a batch number and a date of manufacture. When I first opened the rope, I did have to cut away the packaging. It's a plasticky material because it was on so tight that it wouldn't slide off the rope or wouldn't slide back on either. Cutting the packaging off revealed these rope ends, which I'd never seen before. They look like some kind of sewn eyelet with a plastic insert. This was my first clue that something was wrong. Also, the rope does not look to be dynamic at all. So I contacted Black Diamond. They said, I quote, "This is not a black diamond rope, though it is in our packaging. I believe there was a mistake on Dick's Sporting Goods end. We do not have a rope sheath color that matches the rope sent to you." I'd heard of inexpensive knockoff ropes being sold on sketchy websites, but I'd never heard of an off-brand rope being so well disguised as a legitimate rope in legitimate packaging. The packaging even has certification numbers on it. So if you see anyone with this rope, please tell them not to climb on it, of course, but also ask them where they got it from. We need to stop counterfeit ropes in legitimate packaging infiltrating legitimate sources. So thank you for listening.
So I was shocked when Zach and Emily reached out to me because we've done videos on here before where we've tested just crappy brands on Amazon, uncertified stuff, and then some swaparoo things that happened on Amazon where the carabiners that were legitimate on the website, what was received was not legitimate in an obvious packaging that it was not legitimate. And this is so interesting because this did show up from an authorized retailer for a quality product in literally the packaging for it. That is the packaging. Just to see why they don't get sued here, I am reporting what they told me. I did not watch them buy this rope from Dick's. I did not see them receive it. I did not see them emailed everybody that we're gonna talk about. I'm just the messenger boy. So I'm gonna try to just educate here what to look for, what floats around on these online stores, so you know how to identify stuff and why this is such a big deal. What Emily received was a rope that is commonly sold on AliExpress. This is very likely to be an AliExpress rope. It's got the same pattern, it's got the same sewn end with the red thimble. It's very distinct of what's being sold on there right now. The problem isn't so much that it's, let's say, a no-name brand rope. The problem is that it's a static rope. And if you take whippers or fall as a leader on a static rope, it's going to hurt you, like pretty bad. And you're supposed to use a dynamic rope. So there's two major types of ropes out there. If you're new to climbing, you want to use a dynamic rope that has like a 30% stretch, so it's softer. If you use a static rope, which is not entirely perfectly static like cable, but static enough you don't want to take a whipper on it. And they received a static rope to do normal climbing with. Now, no climbing rope, unless you have a very specific need, has a sewn end on it. We've kind of narrowed down to only about two options we can figure on how this happened. One is what we would call a dirty return. Somebody bought this rope, swapped it out for a AliExpress rope, and then returned it, and then somebody working in the warehouse who doesn't know better, has to process 1,000 things a day, saw this rope, coiled nice, in a legit packaging, and put it back on the shelf. Now, a legit climbing place, you can't basically return things. This is why you can't return climbing gear. They don't know if you dropped it, even though microfractures are a myth. They don't know if you damaged the gear. They don't know if you did this. And this is like gear your life depends on. So the fact that if this was a dirty return, why would Dick's sell it again? The other option is Dick's got a big batch of the wrong rope and they are selling the wrong rope. I don't know how else to say that nicer. The other thing is they third-party shipped this like a drop shipper. I don't know why Dick's would do that. They have their own warehouses, they have their own inventory. Don't know why they're drop shipping. There's no good answer why this happened. And we haven't made this video since they told me about this for literally months, just to see like how the dust would settle, right? Because if somebody made it right, I'd want to tell you. Dick's never responded. I am just gonna leave it at that. Now, they may have only sent one email. They did get a confirmation email, but this might be one of the emails that just fell through the cracks. This is the wrong email to be falling through the cracks. However, I'll give a shout out to Black Diamond. They did respond, and they responded with that is not a rope. Dick's is an authorized retailer. And then after a little nudging, they got higher up on the food chain at Black Diamond, and Black Diamond was like, whoa, this is a big deal. So Zach and Emily did receive from Black Diamond a Black Diamond rope to replace this crappy one, which is good on Black Diamond. Lots of kudos to them. And Zach and Emily are going to mail this AliExpress piece of crap to Black Diamond so they can kind of investigate to see like what type it is, all this, how it happened, maybe pursue it further. But, you know, they don't share that with us. They don't share that with Emily and Zach. So cool on Black Diamond, not cool on Dick's. Now let me take you on a tour of AliExpress and show you kind of what this rope might be and some other ropes to watch out for, and just we can laugh at some of the marketing. So if you type in 10mm climbing rope, you get pretty much very similar products sold across the thing. None of them are from legitimate brands, and let's look at some of them. So this is a 12 and this is an 8mm. If you go down here, let's go 50m 10mm. And something interesting is the price isn't that much different, right? It takes so long to get products from here, and I just don't see it being a dirty return because the Black Diamond rope that they got was this one at 35 meters, and it was like 90 something when they bought it. So that's great, but like the price isn't that different to go through the hassles. You can see here the red end. Their marketing sure is interesting. If you're doing industrial work, you need to have rated gear. I don't know what this guy is doing. I don't think this guy knows what he's doing either. Not sure I would use this rope for that context. If it's not a dry rope, I don't think I'd use it in these conditions. Another product I saw in here that's pretty sketchy is there's a 3KN 10mm rope with the same outer cover, which a normal rope like this would be 20KN. If you've ever seen my videos, it doesn't look like a bunch of friendship bracelets inside of this rope. This is not how a rope should be looking. What they say you can use it for is everything. And these carabiners, by the way, we've tested these before and they broke at like 11 kilonewtons. They should be 20. These are not climbing carabiners. This guy is climbing a big wall. So if you come to this rope, that core actually looks proper. This sew and loop and thimble thing is not what climbers do. They use knots, and these carabiners are cheap pieces of crap. And they're saying that you could use this for whatever, and this is somebody lead climbing and rescues. They're claiming a lot here. Extreme ice climbing is top roping.
Yeah! Oh, they won't close! They won't close!
This just isn't a rope that I would trust my life to, just based on strictly their marketing and the fact that they have no standards. This is unique in the fact that you do have a climber right on the main image, which can't tell if you stop roping or not. You have these overhands instead of figure of eights attached to these carabiners that I hate so much. So this is not necessarily a dead giveaway with the sewn loops. It looks more like a legitimate rope. So when I type in 10mm climbing rope, there's all sorts of ropes down there, but they're like looking for a 10mm climbing rope. The climbing rope is made of high quality polyethylene. even though I think they mistranslated it. Just to clarify, polyethylene ropes are the cheap plastic hardware store ropes that can float on water, but they are not known for high breaking strength. That is not what you want in a climbing rope. The rope is made of high quality stainless steel with excellent tensile strength. High quality, of course high quality, what else would it be, right? It is suitable for literally everything they could Google that used rope. Firefighting, rescue, engineering protection. Wow. So one last thing about this product is if you scroll down on this one, it has a certificate. And this certificate here is for ISO 9001, which means they have some sort of standards for quality control. The QR code leads to nowhere, and it has expired April 22nd, 2022. So it's expired. And this certificate of compliance was actually the most interesting because I ran this by somebody in France who certifies gear for the large companies and provides these certificates for those companies that you're more familiar with. And you can also see here it is a static rope. And basically there's no AET number or the reference number that you would give UBEST, what a name, for the certifying body, the company that supposedly checked this. So out of curiosity, I used the report number here, and maybe that was their version of an AET number. And I typed it in here for verbatim, and I also did it previously without the dashes. And I click submit, and I'm willing to get a virus for you guys, so we'll click send anyways. And the information you entered is incorrect or blank. So it basically leads to nowhere. So just because there's a couple stamps on here that say certificate, I'm not quite sure that they are as super good enough as they claim. So be careful out there. Tell me what you think in the comments, how and why this might have happened, and what we can do to prevent things like this. Education is one of the ways, which is why I made this video. Be sure to buy quality, legitimate, certified gear by technically authorized retailers, but also keep your eye out for switcheroos like this, scams, frauds, things like that, because it can happen anywhere, anytime.